Hello, welcome to today's chat. My name is Sabrina, and this is my lovely boyfriend,
Alex.
Yes.
Hello.
So today's chat is going to be about foundation.
I know a lot about foundation.
Are you sure?
No.
Just about mainly the issues that I have with foundation and, just topics that I kind of want to touch on and talk about.
Okay.
Because Lord knows there's plenty.
So let's get to it.
All right.
Educate me on foundation.
I personally have had a extremely difficult time finding a foundation that actually works for my skin because there are so many different types of foundations. You have brands like Fenty, which is what I'm trying out now. There's Too Faced, which is the foundation that I have currently. And then there's, millions of brands like, I think Kevyn Aucoin did one. There's Smashbox. There is, God, now that I have to talk about it, I think Tarte has some.
So what is foundation?
Yeah, there's just so many to choose from. It's so overwhelming.
What do you do with it?
Foundation is essentially the base that you put on your face. And that's kind of what evens out your skin tone and what, gets the bar ready for the rest of your makeup look.
The bar.
So it's kind of what sets the bar. Like how.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So if your foundation is not great.
Yeah. The rest of your
is probably gonna also be not great. Okay.
Most of the time, I'm sure you could work magic and make it look fine either way. But most of the time, if your foundation does not look good, then the rest of your makeup is not going to look good either.
Gotcha.
My biggest issue that I've had is matching a foundation perfectly. I know they say there's no perfect match for a foundation, but it is very difficult to find a foundation that's light enough for my skin because I am very pale, and also that has my correct undertones.
Undertones.
Because while I want to cover up the, blemishes or something that I have on my face, I still want to be able to see my freckles, or not necessarily have everything covered up completely.
Not the porcelain doll look, huh?
Right, yeah. I still want to have that natural look and, still look
like a human being.
Yeah, like a human being, but I know everybody has a different style and way that they want to do their makeup, and that's fine. That's just not for me. I tend to go for the more natural look, but I have been experimenting more and liking some different stuff too. But mainly, like I was saying, I still have yet to find a foundation that I feel fits my skin perfectly, because I am also not necessarily sure what kind of undertones that I have. I know they say there's rosy undertones, and although my skin does get red very easily, I don't think that I have rosy undertones. Which means I think kind of having a pinkish hue to your skin.
I think you do.
Whereas other people have neutral undertones, or they have olive undertones. Some people I think just have white undertones. There's a lot to choose from.
So it's difficult, I'm guessing, to kind of match that.
Yeah.
Because there's so many different kinds of
and it's hard.
And styles.
Because, they say that you always want to match your foundation to the color on your neck. But my neck isn't necessarily the same shade as my face. But, and then you want to, always make sure you blend down to your neck. But, I don't know. It's just really hard for me to find a foundation that I like, that I'm satisfied with, and one that also I feel looks good on my face.
Gotcha.
Another issue that I've been having with foundations is finding the right kind of foundation and the right coverage of a foundation. Like I was mentioning earlier, I don't necessarily like to have a full coverage foundation because I still want to be able to see my freckles because I actually do really like my freckles that I have on my face. I want to be able to, you know, not feel like I'm just packing on a bunch of stuff onto my face.
So you say full coverage, I assume that means what?
Like if I were to put a full coverage foundation on my face, you wouldn't be able to see my freckles. You wouldn't be able to see like my little blemishes that I have, my little like pimples or whatever. You wouldn't be
So
able to
it's
see
like-
my pores. Like it's full coverage is supposed to cover everything.
Give you that kind of magazine.
Yeah, like that clean
Okay.
sheet that some people want and some people need. But I personally do not like that. I still want to be able to see, you know, like I was saying, my freckles. I do want my pores to be covered, so I tend to lean more for a light or a medium coverage foundation. But I definitely like foundation that is buildable, so in case I'm, you know, in the spur of the moment and I want to be able to have that clean sheet, I would also like to have that as an option.
How do you get that?
Well, different foundations list whether they are light, medium, or full coverage. Some foundations will also list like buildable coverage. So it can be like all of them.
Gotcha. So
Yeah.
you could put more on if you want a full,
Yeah.
less on if you want a light.
You could put more on, but also it depends on how you apply the foundation. You can apply foundation with a beauty sponge, which is like that pink sponge that I like pat my face with. That's a beauty sponge. Or you can also do it with a brush. I typically don't like using a brush when I put on foundation. It's just a personal preference. I find it weird, and a lot of the times when I do it, it becomes streaky. Like you can see where the brush fibers have kind of like clung to the foundation. It just doesn't look good on my skin, and I don't like it. So I tend to lean towards using a sponge when I put on my foundation. Another issue that I want to talk about is price. The prices of foundation. I get it. Foundation is probably one of the most, if not the most important part of your makeup routine. It's what is going to, you know, not to be punny, but be that foundation that you build upon to make your makeup look.
I wonder if that's how they came up with the name.
But, you know, makeup itself in general, I feel like is very expensive. And it is, you know, like an expensive hobby and like industry to be in. And I just feel like a lot of the times, especially when, like you have a brand that is just for the name. Like not to, you know, call anyone out, but when Lady Gaga came out with her makeup, she only did like some eyeliner and some eyeshadows and stuff. But, you know, a lot of people were wanting to buy it because it's from Lady Gaga.
Right.
And so when you get into the beauty industry, you have your main brands like Tarte, like Too Faced, like, so many others that I'm drawing a blank on right now. But there are big names out there, and they tend to overshadow a lot of the smaller brands. Like, you know, I wouldn't say that Fenty is a small brand, but that I would say that that brand is liked more because its owner, its icon, is Rihanna. Rihanna is a beautiful, gorgeous woman, and I think that she does makeup very good. I am personally starting to reach into her brand. I have liked...
Very well.
Yeah, I have liked her foundations that I've tried so far. I've tried the Fenty Beauty. It's more of the hydrating foundation. It's not the matte foundation, because I'm just wanting to go for that more like dewy look for now, as of right now. When I go to like Sephora or Ulta or wherever I go to get my foundation, like Target or CVS, I'm paying like upwards of $30 to $50 for foundation. I think her foundation is only like $35, $32 or something like that, which is like pretty reasonable. But if I wanted to explore with another brand, like I think my Too Faced one that I have is also in the $30 price range. But I know like when I watch Tati's videos, Tati Westbrook, she does everything. She does like high-end makeup, she does drugstore makeup, everything, you name it. And she'll list the prices of these products and I'm like, I cannot afford something like that. Like, I can't afford to go out and spend like $45 on a foundation. I'm sorry, like, I just can't. So it's like, it's a real investment when I go out to buy a foundation. And I'm now getting more into the thing of being able to get samples, to be able to try something. Whereas before, when I would go, I would just do a swatch, be like, okay, that's good, and then I would buy it. And lastly, the issue that I've recently been dealing with a lot is actually physically going to makeup stores, you know, like Ulta and like Sephora, going in and being able to try makeup and get samples. But one thing that is like excruciatingly annoying and painful emotionally is how crowded Sephora is, especially Sephora. And whenever we go in, it's like a chore.
So crowded.
There's always so many people there. And I mean, I get it. This is like a popular industry. It's, you know, it can be good, but like, wow. There's just so many people. It's so overwhelming. So I almost prefer to go to a store like Ulta, which when we went to Ulta for my birthday, when you like took me shopping, there was hardly like anyone there.
Yeah.
There was like maybe like 4 employees there and like a handful of like clients that were there too. But I also feel like when I go to Ulta, they don't necessarily have the same selection as when I go to Sephora. Sephora is where like you can go to get like higher end product. But I feel like a lot of what Ulta carries is like NYX and MAC, and they do carry some Morphe stuff, which I like. They carry like Tarte, Too Faced, Benefit. They carry a lot of brands, but I just feel like Sephora has almost like a bigger selection. And like I feel bad because I don't want to go by myself because I obviously need an opinion from somebody else who is going to see it. And so I have to drag him in and I'm like, hey, deal with all these crowds, but like still give attention to me, like while you're worried about all these other people kind of thing.
It's not that bad. I think the only thing that bothers me is when you're trying to make your way through the labyrinth of shelves and racks, and there's of course 1,000 other people in the store.
Yeah.
So
'cause you have people
once you get a spot, then you're good.
Yeah. Because you have people shopping, like looking at product, you have people trying on product. You have people running around like asking for samples and getting samples of product, and it's so much. Like I feel like after we come out of Sephora, it's just like I need to go treat myself.
We've seen things.
Yeah, we've gone through some stuff. Alright, so that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed our little chat that we had. Please, you know, take in consideration it's our first one. So, with that being said, if you guys have any feedback to give, I'm always open to feedback. I love being able to talk to other people about makeup and, you know, ways that we can kind of, you know, help each other. Because I do think that this industry could benefit from a lot of that. And I think that it is kind of going towards more that way. But you can leave a comment down below. Let me know any tips or pointers, and maybe I can give you some if you have any questions. If you want to see more of our content, feel free to hit the subscribe button, maybe even the notification bell. That'll let you know when we upload another video, which we will be doing soon in the future. Yay! Other than that, we hope you have a lovely day and be kind.